I had friends who were business owners who said, "Hey, we're essential businesses. We need to continue to operate. What do we do? You're doing this for the hospital system. Can you help, work with us?" And it's like, "Sure." It's like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And they're like, "Oh, well, we'll pay you for this." And it's like, "Well," like, "Okay." And it's like, I have a skill set. Here's a need out in the community. I have this vision for this, I'm starting to see this, healthcare need from all these other experiences. It's like, maybe I should form a business. I'm thinking about healthcare in like this, consumable a la carte way where you can just push healthcare out into the community and have it be easily accessible and transparent. So we're sitting in, my wife and I are sitting in our armchairs just like this. And we're like, what should we call it? And we're going back and forth. And I was telling her, I was like, I want it to be like a salad bar. Where it's like, I want this, right? But I can pick and choose and customize. And she's like, health bar. And I'm like, yes, that's it. So my wife named the business. Kudos to her. And so filed for my LLC in April. I'm still working as a director in the hospital system doing all the pandemic stuff then. Well, come to May 5th, and I come to work, we're in that phase, and there are days you wonder, you go back, you think about, and you're like, how crazy was that? But I had a meeting put on my calendar at noon. It was with my boss and HR. I thought we were talking about furloughs and layoffs and everything else. I'm like, oh man, we're gonna talk about cutting all these staff members. Like, yeah. Walk in the room, and my boss is there, and he basically says, "We're gonna let you go." It's like what a gut punch, like completely out of the blue. And so I didn't choose to start Health Bar. Health Bar kind of started by itself. And I always thought, when I started it, the LLC originally, I was like, this can be a side business. I'll do this through the pandemic or whatever else. I have a skill set I can leverage. But yeah, so just like that, half hour later, I'm escorted out of the hospital system. I don't have a job, and I have, I don't really have anything at that stage. No income, no nothing. Primary breadwinner for my family. Just like complete shock. So I drive over Riverside Park here in town is one of my favorite spots, and I just walk the paths trying to figure out what am I going to do? Processing all of it. And I finally get the courage to call my wife back, pride, right? And I lost my job. I hadn't failed my entire career. It had always been getting, and getting those promotions, getting the job, being successful in those roles. And this was the first time I'd say I truly had significant failure that hurt, like physically hurt. And go home. I go home, you do your routine, right? I open the mailbox up, grab the mail out. I grab a piece of paper there. That's the Articles of Incorporation for Health Bar. Sitting there in the mailbox, I'm like, whoa, right? Like, what kind of message is God sending me? The timing of that, right? I get fired on the same day, then that lands in the mail on that day. And to this day, you look at my Articles of Incorporation for the business, it says May 5, 2020, and that's the day I got fired. So pretty crazy. I'm human. I had a pity party for May 5 that day. Had a glass or two of bourbon and just processed, and woke up May 6th, and I was like, let's go.
Yeah.
Got a business. Let's do it. So I from that day was that was the birth of Health Bar, and my the gates opened. I didn't realize how limited I was working in the healthcare system as an entrepreneur, and I would say a visionary kind of leader. And getting out of that system and having the world in front of you was just like, though that day sucked, like the energy and the excitement of building your own business, I had never felt anything like it. So, yeah.
No, thanks for sharing that and that story about how when one door closes, kind of another one opens, and how the timing of everything, some of this you can, as you think about your journey and making decisions, you can force yourself to go work out. You can force yourself to do certain things that are going to maybe set up your future in a certain way, but some things you just don't control, right?
Yeah.
This is something that's outside of your control,
Yeah.
but yet you have the opportunity on May 6th to make a decision, right? And you can double down on Health Bar and really make it happen. The ships were kind of burned for you in some scenarios, right? But
Ships were
you
very
could have,
burned.
yeah, found a different position potentially, but
Yeah.
you said, hey, let's go all in. And it sounded like you had your family's support and buy-in as well.
Mm.
And that feeling of excitement, hey, I can create whatever I want,
Yeah.
right? I don't have to fit into a certain, well, you had the opportunity
Sure.
to, you still had some things that you had to fit into, but what were
Yeah.
some of those initial stages of that first business, Health Bar and getting things off the
Mhm.
ground?
Yeah, it's funny. You tell this to any entrepreneur, and they'd be like, "Yeah, no way."
Yeah.
My wife told me she's like, we were not entrepreneurs, business owners, like completely naive,
Yeah.
and she's like, "I'll give you 2 months to see if you can make this into a
Okay,
business."
hey.
Like, all right, I got 2 month runway, right?
60
And
days, let's go.
let's go. And so she, and I didn't know any different either. I was like, all right, like, okay, I think like 2 months. I work fast. I can see what I can do. And so I just got to it, and so we actually went to go to market, and we're doing these COVID services for businesses and organizations for the community. We quickly found partnerships with labs to do mass scale COVID testing across the state. Just went from 0 to 100 really fast because, and this is where people ask, like, could you have done this in a situation other than there being this huge community need like this? And really, it's just extremely unique time in life. And I don't know, right? There's a lot of things that helped us launch extremely quickly as an organization that were due to acute needs in the community, and being able to respond to those and just without limit and just go. It was, yeah, extremely unique, and I completely acknowledge that. And I think that's, for me, more of God's timing. And I feel like now I say this back is, in having where we are as an organization right now and the work that we're doing and the lives that we're changing and impacting, I was like, I truly feel this is, my career was my career, and I needed it to get to where I am. This is why God put me on this earth, was to do this work. And so very mission driven, but just a grind. Like, you just go out there and what are you doing as a business? Every business has to ask themselves this: what problem are you solving, and what value are you providing? If you're not solving a problem or providing value to your end client, like, then you're not, why are you doing what you're doing? You're just doing it to make money at the end of the day. And it's like, I don't think of my businesses as just ways to make money. I truly see what we're doing, and have had this vision is, how do we fundamentally change how healthcare is delivered? How do we fundamentally change how healthcare is financed? How do we make healthcare about relationships again? How do we make it about people again? How do we get it away from this institutional big business that's more centered around profits and volumes and sickness at the end of the day? And so it feels to me, this feels very mission driven. This feels very purposeful, and the results of the business are so energizing to be able to see, like, we're making real impact in people's lives, not just physically, but financially, and emotionally. So yeah, it's like, there's just, yeah, the journey of the business has, it has been incredible, but has also been one of the hardest things I've ever gone through. I had a lot, you learn and you go through a career, and there's struggles there working for big companies and organizations, but to run your own business and to go through the ups and downs, like, yeah, that was rough.
Well, I can imagine too. I mean, I love your mission and love what you guys are doing, and I want to dive deeper into that.
Yeah.
But thinking about what you just mentioned about, starting your first business, there's complexities. And surprisingly enough, it's not just like, here's the playbook, here's exactly what you need to do. It's like, man, another letter from the IRS. Oh, I did that wrong. I didn't intend to. Like, here's how I was trying to do things right. Like, you have to learn some of those lessons as you go through. But also, you're in an industry that isn't probably welcoming of disruption.
Yeah,
I can assume.
Yeah, there's this almost to it's very entrenched, and I tried to change it from within. Did not work, right? I ended up getting fired for those efforts. And so knowing that the industry is not going to change but it also has this arrogance that it can't be changed. It's almost like the Titanic. Like, nobody's moving us. We're going in our direction, and you can't change our direction.